I'm Guy Fieri, and we're rolling out, looking for America's greatest diners, drive-ins, and dives.
Would it be so bad if an 84-year-old got into heroin?
Welcome to the Cat Organizational Podcast.
You idiot. It's written down in front of you idiot.
This is like the buffalo chicken wrap of answers.
I haven't heard about hot orcs in a while.
We were so horny for motion controls in 2005.
I can't wait to come back and tell you how it was Noah's Ark, you asshole.
I would also like to retroactively say I've never had cotton candy acid.
So Andrew's 100% doing a voice, right?
Everybody get off IMDb now. Time to record.
This episode and probably this whole podcast is a mistake.
Hello and welcome to Debate This, the show where no one is right, but someone is definitely wrong. In this show, we talk about comic books, video games, and at the low cost of $50, literally anything else you want.
It's true.
As evidenced by this episode we're recording right now.
So unless you've joined the Debate This family in the last month or so, in which case, welcome, you're probably quite familiar with our flavor text episodes by now. We've covered everything from Overwatch to Kingdom Hearts to Marvel's Eternals to Animorphs to Neon Genesis Evangelion, which has somehow become the most pervasive force in my life.
Three of those things have Matt never had heard about and now is a major fan of. Well, two of those things.
One of those things. It's Neon
Animorphs,
Genesis
right?
Evangelion. No, I've read those books. Anyway, I digress. When it comes to flavor texts, all bets are pretty much off, which is why we thought it would be a great idea to open up the show to commissions. We opened up a tier on our Patreon, a far-flung tier called Master Debater, where you could exchange currency for a flavor text on a topic of your choosing.
Hey, did you guys get that joke, Master Debater?
No, could you explain it to me?
I don't want. The breath that we've wasted on these 2 or 3 sentences about that is already too much.
Well, here we are, gentlemen, just over 3 months after we launched our Patreon, about to do a flavor text about the man, the myth, the goddamn legend, Guy Fieri.
I'm pretty excited for this.
I expect there to be some fanfare edited in there.
And what a legend. Oh, there will be fanfare.
Good. Thank you, Kyle. And thanks to patron, longtime friend of the show, and host of Up for Discussion and Natural Toonie, Tom Zalat and I, we all hopped on a one-way train to Flavor Text Town to bring you all the information we could find about the spiky-haired Spice Lord, Guy Fieri.
My favorite Dragon Ball Z character.
It feels so right.
Does Tom not get a cool middle nickname? I feel like $50 earns you a cool middle nickname.
Yeah.
Can Tom be Tom Donkey Sauce Zalat and I just want someone to take the name Donkey Sauce.
He's Donkey
Good.
Sauce.
Tom is now Donkey Sauce. I make that reference in like 2 lines. Anyway, joining me on today's journey are Andrew, Sammy Hagar from Van Halen Henderson, Todd, Steve Harwell from Smash Mouth Thomas, and Kyle Violent J from Insane Clown Posse Harper.
Don't do that to me.
He got it. Someone had to get it.
Are these people that look like the Guy Fieri? Is this like Homer Simpson and Krusty the Clown have never been in the same place at the same time?
I don't know if you guys read it today, but there is an entire webpage devoted to the conspiracy theory that Guy Fieri, Steve Harwell from Smash Mouth, and Violet J from ICP are all the same guy. And
I
it's
love that.
Also, little known fact, they're all voiced by Dan Castanella.
So a little peek behind the sausage curtain, when the sentence Guy Fieri flavor text got posted in our group chat, all 4 of us immediately called dibs. We decided to split up the life and times of the inventor of donkey sauce so that each of us could take a bite. With that said, I had a Twitter conversation with Guy Fieri's son Hunter exactly 1 time, so I took the reins to write the intro. And with that, I will turn it over to Andrew now that I have made my I am only 1 degree of separation away from Guy Fieri flex.
This is the most writing work Matt has ever done for this podcast with those 2 paragraphs.
Matt, you couldn't get your best friend Hunter Fieri on the show.
First off, it's Fieri, goddammit, Kyle. There's a paragraph warning at the top of our notes. Second off, I tweeted at Hunter Fieri 1 time because I found this meme of a baby with Guy Fieri's hair. And
Only one?
I tweeted this picture and I was like, TBH, I thought this is what Hunter Fieri would look like. And he replied to it, and he was like, honestly, so did I. And I was like, this is the best moment of my life. I tweeted with Guy Fieri's son. It goes, tweeted with Guy Fieri's son, met Emma Watson in a hotel in Pittsburgh. Those are like the two top moments of my life. Anyway, I'm going to dig a hole I can't climb out of. Andrew, why don't you kick off this flavor text?
Sure, yeah. So because this is our first commission, we wanted to make this a little special for our good buddy Donkey Sauce. And we're taking a step away from the normal format where one of us does all the research and just regurgitates it to everybody
information.
And we all took a chunk. So the 4 chapters in this flavor text, FlavorTOWN text,
flavorful chunk.
Yeah. The 4 chapters are gonna go as such. So I'm gonna take life before the Food Network, so the 1 paragraph on Wikipedia entitled "Early Career," and then Matt's gonna get into the meatiest of the meaty chunks, which is of course Guy Fieri's rise through the Food Network ranks.
Meteoric rise.
Yeah,
Meaty or
we'll then cut to Todd, who I don't really know what this is about, but it's just entitled "The Good Modern Day Mayor."
I'm going to talk, when it gets to me, I'm going to tell you how Guy Fieri is a way better human being than you could ever hope you could ever become.
It's true.
Yeah, well, that's fair. And then Kyle's going to finish this off on kind of the zeitgeist of Guy Fieri.
The man,
and really,
the meme, the legend.
Yeah, the meme, the legend. And really, like, the meta and why we're all here today, why we're us 4 guys with a podcast are going to spend the next 2 hours talking about this person. So without further ado, let's talk about the boring stuff. Guy Fieri was born Guy Ramsey Fieri on January 22nd, 1968 in Columbus, Ohio, which we've alluded to a couple times, which of course our podcast being based out of Columbus, Ohio, that makes us very happy. However, this is kind of a wet fart of a fact because as I quickly found, Guy Fieri was born in Columbus, but he didn't really ever live in Columbus. He's a California guy.
It's true.
Yeah, so his family actually, when he was pretty young, moved to Ferndale, California, which is a small community in the most northern part of Northern California. It is in Humboldt County, which some people, residents of California, might know as the Redwood Forest, which I've actually been to and is fucking beautiful. So there's a series of small rural towns just like right on the coast up there. So Ferndale is among those. Guy Fieri had a pretty normal childhood. It's a normal spiky-headed childhood. He at age 10 was his first recorded dealings in food service when he operated a pretzel cart that he named Awesome Pretzels, which is
I love that it's the first recorded, the first recorded Guy Fieri does food in history.
Yeah.
Like there's some hieroglyph somewhere of Guy Fieri pulling a pretzel cart around Northern California.
Right. There's a Ken Burns documentary with a letter being read of Guy Fieri writing to his parents about his pretzel cart.
Wonder where the pretzel cart is today.
I'm going to talk about it a little bit later, Kyle.
There you go. And then as a teen, he, as most of us do, he worked shitty dishwashing jobs to pay to help finance a 1-year trip to France where he took his first culinary course. So he is trained in French cuisine. Guy Fieri, inventor of donkey sauce, started in French cuisine, which was pretty cool. He raised money to, of course, I'm sure that he had some help from family, but he raised money to do a 1-year student exchange program in France, which is pretty neat. So a lot of the things pages I've read said, which I assume are transcripts from interviews, have said that was where he really developed his passion for food. So he came back from his experience in France, and then he enrolled in the University of Nevada in Las Vegas, where he got a bachelor's in hotel management, which is not common for this field because it's very related. And it was 1990, so culinary school wasn't like the thing that it is now.
My first thought hearing that he got his bachelor's in hotel management is like, that's pretty apt. Like, that's a good...
Yeah, it's a smart move.
It's all related to fine food, fine experience, fine dining. Yeah, go ahead.
You hear it a lot. Isn't it called like hospitality management?
Yep.
Isn't that like the business of running like hotels and restaurants and stuff?
Yeah.
high-end
Brief pause.
customer service.
Andrew, are you a Nevada guy? It's Nevada, you nerd.
Unless you're up in the 419 area code of Ohio and it's Nevada.
Yeah, it's
Nevada? Ugh, what the?
I did live on the West Coast, and so it's Nevada.
Everyone I've ever met from Nevada says Nevada.
Okay. It doesn't really
Nevada.
matter.
Nevada.
It
Is
doesn't-
Nevada
Population
a
of
makeup?
8,000 total people in the entire 10-mile radius, maybe.
All right, that's enough. I want to talk more about Guy Fieri.
Yeah.
I just wanted to call
So-
you out for saying Nevada.
Well, I'm going to continue to say it, and fuck you. Guy Fieri.
Ugh.
So after his college experience, our boy moved through a couple different jobs in different restaurants. He ended up being the most notable one was he ended up becoming manager of a Long Beach, California restaurant called Parker's Lighthouse, which is still there today, which I thought was kind of interesting. So Parker's is just like an upscale seafood restaurant. They're clearly in operation. They've got a COVID-19 warning up and everything on their website. So this is where Guy, you'll see throughout the next couple of years, Guy kind of goes back and forth between Los Angeles and San Francisco Bay Area. So he was down in Long Beach, and then he went back up. Well, actually, I take that back. So he became a district manager of another restaurant called Louise's Trattoria, where he actually managed 6 locations, along with some other, it says recruiting and training. That franchise still exists, but there's only 2 left, and they're both in LA. So that is when Guy moved back up to Northern California, and this is really the start of the Guy Fieri brand that we've the elements that we know today.
The Fieri-verse.
The Fieri-verse, yes. This is page 1 of the Fieri-verse. So in 1996, Guy and a man, his business partner named Steve Gruber, they opened a series of 2 chains. The first was named Johnny Garlic's. Which I
love. That's
right?
That's
good.
incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to give it to him to stick on brand. Like, again, since day one.
I could look at a picture of Guy Fieri without knowing who that is.
Yeah.
And think that maybe that is a persona named Johnny Garlic.
Hey, that's my boy Johnny Garlic.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. It's like a pseudonym on a message board,
Yeah.
which is 1996, so that probably was the case. It was a message board just talking about, like, I don't know, hot sauce or something. So it was a self-described California pasta grill, which opened in Santa Rosa, California. Santa Rosa is in the Napa area, Napa region, like in wine country and a little north of the Bay Area. Santa Rosa is an awesome town, very, very touristy town, a lot of good beer, a lot of good places to hang out. So there's a lot of these little like towns in wine country that kind of operate as Michelin star training grounds, if you will, because there's a lot of fine dining. All these towns, these are super rich towns. So they've got a lot of money in and out, a lot of old people, a lot of old rich white people, which means a lot of space for expensive dining. So you see a lot of these kind of like Michelin star wannabe restaurants come in and out all the time.
Nice.
Yeah. And so Johnny Garlic's actually did really well for quite some time. I myself, when I lived out there, I never went to one, but I encountered a couple of these. There were at one point, at the height of its popularity, there were 7 of these in the Northern California area.
Wow.
One right by our friend Alex Clark's place in Pleasanton, California. Not Alex Clark, who was on a show a couple years ago, but our personal friend.
Wow, what a throwback.
Yeah. So I've personally encountered these places, and then we looked at the menu, and were like, hell no.
No, stop. Why?
Well, look at the menu. I mean, it's okay. So it's version 1.0 Guy Fieri. So it's all of the stupid food combinations, but with none of the branding
charm
yet, none of the charm yet.
none of the
Yeah. So it's just
fine-tuning.
it's just like, hey, do you guys like ranch dressing? Like, if I got a thing for
We
you.
have a ranch gun.
Yeah, and it's like it's a novelty.
Guy Fieri and Beta.
And it's a novelty. Yes, exactly. It's a novelty in California when everything's like kind of healthy and has avocados on it. But like, I'm from Pittsburgh. We already put French fries on our salads. Like, I don't need more of that, you know?
Word.
So I mentioned, so we talked about Johnny Garlic's. There's another establishment that they built called, where was this? Tex Wasabi's Rock and Roll Sushi Barbecue.
Wow.
Awesome.
Wow.
Excellent.
Those are all words.
Chef's kiss.
They took a restaurant that like they took sushi and they took barbecue with those two concepts and they wrapped it up in an American flag and then just slapped it up against the wall and then just dumped it out into a cowboy hat.
And that's
this is what
exactly what it is. It's like somebody wrote on a piece of paper, how can we get a bunch of 45-year-old fat slobs to eat sushi?
Yeah.
Cover it in ranch dressing. What the fuck?
Call it barbecue sushi and
barbecue
smother it
sushi.
in condiments.
Now, some of this stuff, to be fair, like I'll defend it for just a bit. I was going through Yelp to try to find pictures of the menu because Tex Wasabi's is also closed now. So neither of these places exist anymore, unfortunately. But they do have some pretty interesting specials. One section in particular called Gringo Sushi.
Good. Yep.
No.
It's literally a hamburger.
I think that's the kind of sushi I like. That's unfortunate.
It is. Well, again, like if you needed to take your uncle to a sushi place, there's a
You
couple
really
places.
needed a California roll, and your
Exactly.
uncle was willing to pay. This is where you go.
So we've got a couple entries called the Screaming Gobbler, which is turkey and sriracha aioli. The Jackass roll, which is pulled pork and spicy chili aioli. So it's that kind of feel, right?
Yeah.
So it just and again, this is 1999. Like it was still a really novel concept. Like now you see these restaurants all the time. They're just fusion restaurants where they just take two unlike things and kind of smash them together. That happens everywhere. You can throw a rock and you'll hit three of these kind of places. But this was a novel concept 20 some odd years ago. So the little bit of postscript on this. So these were his two big first franchises that really kind of catapulted him into the next phase in the pre Food Network era. A little like where are they now about this? So in 2015, so again, Johnny Garlic's opened in 1996, made it about a little more than 20 years. In 2015, Guy Fieri actually petitioned to close the franchise. His partner counterfiled a suit to keep it open. So Guy actually sold all his shares off on both of these franchises as of 2016. Johnny Garlic's closed in 2018, and Tex Wasabi's closed about 6 months later. But for a restaurant franchise, for a small franchise like that, pretty great run. That's, what is that, 20 years? Like that,
Yeah,
that doesn't
that's
happen
incredible.
too often. Yeah. I thought it was also funny, according to a Vice article that I read, in October of 2019, the Johnny Garlic's website was redirecting traffic to a pharmacy, quote unquote, that sells chewable flavored Viagra.
Oh,
Good.
Oh my.
I mean, but here's the question. Do we think that Guy Fieri still owns that address? Like,
I don't think so. And I could not find that website, so either the URL is taken down or somebody else maybe had that domain. But yeah. So that's basically it. That brings us to 2006 when Guy Fieri's life really started to take a turn.
Yeah. I had a joke that I was going to say and I forgot it, so I'll just cut that blank out and post it.
Cool. Was it about chewable Viagra?
No, it was something about, I was going to say Johnny Garlic's is a bigger part of American history than the Confederacy. That was the joke.
it is.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Johnny Garlic's was around 4 times as long as the Confederacy was.
Let's get that on a t-shirt.
Listeners, please sign our petition to make to rename Columbus FlavorTOWN. This is all evidence for our petition.
Or Johnny Garlic's Ohio.
Yeah, I'll take that. Whatever.
That feels more
I'm
on
in.
brand.
Yeah, I'll live in Johnny Garlic's, Ohio. So anyway, now that Andrew did the setup, I want to talk about the patron saint of Channel 52, check your local listings. So, to talk about how a man with spiked bleach tips goes from selling pretzels in NorCal to championing a cable network. The answer to that question is a little show called Food Network Star. So Food Network Star, episode 1, season 1, aired on June 5th, 2005. Around the end of the first season of Food Network Star, Guy Fieri's friends egged him on and convinced him to send in an audition tape. The best quote I could find from this audition tape was that Guy Fieri said he liked to live big, laugh hard, and cook wild. Which is like,
Great.
if I could put...
That's our boy.
Yeah, if I could put a tagline after guyfieri.llc, I think it would be those exact things.
Well, that's his version of Live, Laugh, Love.
Can I just say real quick, though, when I saw that he had just started becoming a star in 2006 or 7. Like to find out that Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives only came out in 2007 seemed kind of wild to me.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I in my mind, that show's always been on forever and ever.
Well, when Matt gets to it, that's when Food Network stopped being like just the Iron Chef channel. Like it was just
and then turned
the
into
Iron
actual
Chef channel
entertainment.
until 2006.
I watched that man take bites out of bell peppers on Iron Chef so many times.
Yeah.
Sorry, not to take wind out of your sails, but I just
Oh, no,
that's
it's okay.
crazy to me.
Yeah, it's bananas. I mean, honestly, like, Guy Fieri was Food Network's next Emeril Lagasse. Like, they needed someone who could carry the torch of Emeril through the rebranding of Food Network. Because Emeril
Bobby
stuck
Flay
around.
wasn't sure as hell wasn't gonna do that.
Bobby Flay is like a scoop of vanilla ice cream.
He's
No,
the
okay,
Mitch
hold
McConnell
on.
of Food
Listen,
Network.
I will defend Bobby Flay too, but I'm not here to fight that fight today. Bobby Flay was still carrying Iron Chef America. Like, he is the reason that show was on the air as long as it was.
Sure.
And when Food Network rebranded to more like daytime family-friendly content away from just Iron Chef in primetime and then live to tape audience cooking shows.
Which,
all through
boy,
the
you
day,
couldn't pay me to watch one of those right now. Like that.
Yeah.
That seems terrible.
They needed a personality as big as Emeril to carry that rebrand, and that guy was Guy Fieri.
And someone who wasn't going to get caught up in sexual assault like most of Iron Chef America have at this point.
Yeah, that also. So, anyway, on April 23rd, 2006, Guy Fieri was announced as the winner of Season 2, and the world was literally forever changed. So, April 23rd, 2006, Guy Fieri officially wins Next Food Network star and is guaranteed his own show on Food Network. And that show was called Guy's Big Bite, which started in 2006. And what may surprise you is that it ran until 2016. So Guy's Big
Wild.
Bite had
Absolutely
a 10-year
wild.
run.
Yikes.
And while many now know Guy as the personality in front of the kitchen, he got his start behind it. So Guy's Big Bite Season 1, Episode 1 premiered on June 25th, 2006 for a 6-episode run. So he was announced the winner of Food Network Star on April 23rd. His show premiered 3 months later. Now, I do need to say that, like, they film in the winter of the year before for Food Network Star. So he had won in, like, December, but then they turned around and taped Guy's Big Bite right after, and it aired in June of 2006. So Guy's Big Bite was a standard cooking show, but the longer it went, the more Guy Fieri it became. And one of the big differences between Guy's Big Bite and a lot of the shows before it was that it wasn't live to tape in front of an audience. It was him in a studio cooking, and it was heavily edited.
Interesting.
So, the set gained a personalized Guy Fieri fridge, racing stripes, a pinball machine, big screen TVs. Guy also started inviting his friends to join him, and it all just like really bubbled over and exploded. Guy's Big Bite right now, I don't know if anybody out there has Sling, but we have Sling, and Guy's Big Bite is all backlogged on Sling, so I've been watching a lot of 2006 Guy Fieri lately.
What besides the set and the vibe, like did anything set it apart? Like, was he cooking anything different, or was it just kind of your standard, like, whatever?
I mean, it was very Guy Fieri food. Like, the last episode I watched was like a tailgate meatloaf, and it wasn't like
That's
yeah, and it wasn't like it's not food that you look at like, oh god, I don't want to eat that. Like, it wasn't epic mealtime, but it was definitely more, I don't know what to say other than Midwest American food than Food Network's brand.
it's dressed up tailgate food. Is
Yeah.
what Guy Fieri makes, and what I'm sure that show was. So good.
Yeah.
Good for him.
And everything I've seen on it has been stuff that I was like, yeah, I would eat that. It's nothing that I've been like, oh, that's a crime against God.
Yeah, it's still better than
it's all
Paula
pretty
Deen
good.
stuff.
Oh boy. Yeah.
For a number of reasons, yes.
My favorite show, Chew and Butter with Paula Deen. So, starting with season 10 of Guy's Big Bite, Guy took the show from his studio to his own backyard, inviting his friends and crew to come cook with him and his own backyard style. And Guy's Big Bite ran for 13 seasons 191 episodes,
Wow.
and had its final air date on December 18th of 2016.
Guy's Big Bite almost ran as long as fucking Naruto.
Yes, it absolutely did.
Just to try and make a comparison that our demographic would understand a bit better.
And it has fewer filler episodes.
Less episodes of someone just screaming at the camera while transforming.
So Guy's Big Bite was the first Guy Fieri show in 2006, but it wasn't the only one. Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives actually started in 2006 as well. The show we all know and love actually started as a one-off special that aired November 6, 2006. And some guy at Food Network was all like, yo, this shit slaps. And then Triple D became the series that premiered on Food Network on April 23rd, 2007. So Triple D, obviously, it's the big one.
It's an institution.
Yeah.
That's the one. I just assumed that was the first one. I hadn't
for sure.
I didn't even know
Same.
that Guy's Big Bite existed, honestly.
Yeah. So it started in 2006. It is still actively airing. It was not the first food road show of its kind. It was based on similar road shows like Road Tasted and $40 a Day. $40 a Day was the road trip food show led by Rachel Ray, who, if Guy Fieri was the king of Food Network, in 2006, Rachel Ray was the queen.
Yeah, for sure.
Question, Matt. I don't know if you know this when you were looking up. What was the Travel Channel doing any stuff like this at the time, or was that? Because I know like Man vs. Food and Bourdain were coming around like a little later, but I can't remember if they came first or after.
2006, I don't honestly know where Man vs. Food fits in, but I think it was a little bit later. And I think that Bourdain's first show might have been
Bourdain,
around
I think,
then.
was 08, because Bourdain's first book came out in 04, so I'm pretty sure he was later.
But I know that Travel Channel was, at this point, still doing a lot of vacation destination travel shows, like top 10 water parks in America. And I used to watch a lot of Travel Channel because they did like 10 best haunted houses in the country every October.
And that one episode that everyone in Pittsburgh taped because they talked about Kennywood.
Yep, exactly. That is the one.
So Man vs. Food premiered December 3rd, 2008. And Parts Unknown didn't premiere until 2013. Was that?
What about No Reservations?
Yeah, No Reservations.
No Reservations.
That's the one I'm looking for. Hold on.
That's
God, I have watched a disgusting amount of cable TV and an even more disgusting amount of Discovery Network cable TV.
Not to get super off topic, but Jess and I listened to the audiobook of Bourdain's first book. It's very good. I highly recommend it. Yeah,
I've heard that.
It's excellent.
So, No Reservations did precede Guy's Big Bite, and the first episode aired July 25th, 2005.
All right.
Interesting.
On Travel Channel.
Okay.
Cool. So, anyway, let's go back to Triple D. You know the gist. Guy drives his red convertible all over God's green earth, looking for America's greatest diners, drive-ins, and dives. So, here is the statistic. If you remember nothing else from this episode, remember this. Triple D has run for a whopping 41 seasons.
Oh my god.
And at current has aired 411 episodes.
Jesus
Those are One Piece
Christ.
numbers right there.
So how many seasons a year come out? Because that's a lot.
3?
Yeah, I mean, it's been 14 years, so 3-ish. Yep.
Yeah, wow.
I think the more startling number is 400 some episodes. How many restaurants does he visit in each episode? It's not just one,
It's
is
a
it?
couple,
It's
yeah.
usually 3 per
3 to
episode.
4. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So, Triple D is still currently on the air, with the team filming in their 50th state of South Dakota in 2020, literally just a couple of months ago.
Wow. That's amazing.
Over 800 restaurants around America and around the world have already been featured on Triple D. And they all say literally the exact same thing about the process, which is Guy is the coolest dude ever, and he changed our business for the best. Which I'm sure, Todd, you'll probably talk about a little bit more in the next section.
Oh, you know that.
I like that because, like, you hear about Hell's Kitchen or the other thing,
Kitchen Nightmares.
Kitchen Nightmares, and like how only a quarter of those restaurants end up remaining open. So that's like good that Guy kind of sets them up for success when he comes by.
Well, if you think about it, like the breakdown of the two different models that like Guy Fieri is going to like restaurants that are like these hidden gems.
That's true. That's very
Whereas
true.
those other ones are like, these are sinking ships, and I'm gonna try and help them.
And
You can't.
Gordon Ramsay's trying to save them.
You
and
can't
doesn't
fix
always
terrible
succeed.
management. Got
Yeah,
it.
that's
All
true.
Well,
right.
and I think Bourdain's the closest. Like, there's a reason why I brought him up. But I think he's the closest comparison, at least to his style, the show. Because like when we go to a new city, like that's what we do. Is like we go. It's like, hey, is there a Bourdain about this city? Is there a DDD about this city?
Nice.
You know, like because this is the roadmap of the cool places to go.
Yeah, I mean,
good point.
every single city that I have been to since Maddie and I got together, we have looked for a Triple D restaurant. Every single one.
Yep.
And I think there's only one left in Columbus that I haven't been to. The only one I haven't been to is Momogar, but I've been to all the other ones.
What is that?
It's in North Market. Sorry.
No, it's also in Saraga.
Do you have a list of the ones in Columbus just for our narrowcast purposes?
It's Ina's Outer Road Caribbean Grill, Momogar, and Loops on
really?
King and Northwest. Yep, it's me. Bet you're wondering how I got here, because it's me from the future. I just had to jump in real quick, debate this, fans, and correct myself, because I, the dumb asshole that I am, forgot 3 very important Columbus restaurants. When I said that Guy Fieri had only been to 3 restaurants on Triple D, I was completely wrong. And thank you to my wonderful girlfriend, Maddie, for correcting me. There are actually 6 restaurants that Guy Fieri has been to. So in this episode, I mentioned Loops, Ina's Caribbean Kitchen, and Momogar, but I managed to somehow leave out Ray Ray's Hog Pit, Sweet Carrot, and Pierogi Mountain, all of which I have been to. So I've still only not been to Momogar, but I've definitely been to 5 Triple D restaurants in Columbus, because there are definitely 6, and I'm an idiot, and I screwed that up, and I'm sorry. So now, back to the episode.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's a surprise addition.
Loops is really good. Like,
Loops
it
is
is a hidden
delicious.
gem.
And honestly,
I've had Loops.
Ina's is my favorite restaurant in Columbus. I adore Ina's. If
Yeah.
you're into Caribbean food, it's untouchable. Anyway, so let's break out of the narrowcast. It wasn't all perfect with Triple D. The show was actually sued in 2011 by the former production company Page Productions, who alleged that Food Network failed to pay production costs and failed to make Guy available for shooting. Food Network countersued, and a settlement was reached. The show was able to air for its 12th season and is now produced by Citizen Pictures.
I like that. Like, no, we're gonna actually sue you. So why don't you just back up?
Yeah, so that's the big one. That's Triple D. Let's talk about some other things you probably didn't know happened. Starting with Guy Off the Hook in 2008. This was one that I wasn't aware of. It was one of the shortest-lived Fieri projects. It ran for 1 season and 6 episodes. Guy Off the Hook Season 1, Episode 1 premiered September 14th, 2008. And it was Food Network basically saying, hey, we did these live-to-tape audience cooking shows. You want to do one of those?
Oh.
Yeah, so it was a
Gotcha.
live cooking show a la Emerald Live. Guy cooked in front of a live audience. He cooked Guy Fieri things. You get it. It was fine.
And like that equation is just that. It's fine.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going to sit down and watch that though.
It's the show you make to fill out your time slots because you didn't book enough shows this season.
Yeah.
Yep.
I firmly believe, after everything I've read today, that no Food Network show that Guy Fieri has ever been on has been bad. At worst, they have been fine. And it's like Guy Fieri can carry a show. It doesn't matter what it is. You give him a Food Network show, and he will carry it to at least the end of 1 season.
He's a personality, and that's the biggest part of it. Like, he can work a crowd, he can work a camera. That's all you need to do.
So also in 2008, Guy Fieri co-hosted the first season of Ultimate Recipe Showdown. He co-hosted with Mark Summers, who's the guy from Double Dare.
Yeah.
Mark
he
Summers, he's like the executive producer of Food Network.
Yes.
Really?
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Of course.
He's climbed the ladder. And it's basically now Mark Summers and Guy Fieri EPing every Food Network show.
It's awesome.
All right.
So Guy and Mark did the first season, and then Guy solo hosted the next 2 seasons. It was a home cooks bring their best recipes type show. It's called Ultimate Recipe Showdown. The description of it I have is home cooks came with their best recipes. There was then a showdown.
Okay.
That's it. The winner got $25,000 and also their recipe on the menu at TGI Fridays, who Guy Fieri was the spokesperson for at that time.
That feels right, though. Like,
Yeah.
It's very good.
Like Guy Fieri would have been the guy. What year was this? 2008? Is that what you said?
2008 to 2010.
Yeah, Guy Fieri would have been the guy in 2008 yelling that I was gonna eat those jalapeno poppers. Like he is that guy back then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the weird one. I jumped a little bit outside of Food Network, but from 2010 to 2011, Guy Fieri hosted the American version of Minute to Win It, which I did not remember.
I remember that.
Yeah, I remember watching Minute to Win It. I don't remember Guy Fieri being there, but he hosted from 2010 to 2011. I have always said that Minute to Win It is the lowest budget show on television.
Yep.
He hosted it for like 2 seasons. It was fine. It got rebooted in America in 2013, and Olympic speed skater Apollo Ono was the host.
Sure he is.
That's all I got. The coolest part about this section is that there was a Minute to Win It brand video game.
There was.
The first...
Do you not have? You don't have it.
I don't have that one. I don't have.
I'm
that
actually surprised.
I think
it was more than 10 cents in the Nintendo eShop as well.
Yeah.
I feel very attacked right now. I think it came out on the Wii. I don't totally remember.
Right.
But Guy Fieri did the voiceover for it. Guy Fieri has voiceover credit in the Minute to Win It brand video game.
Amazing.
So that's 2010 to 2011. Let's move on a year. 2012 to 2014. The King and Queen of Food Network, by their powers combined, bring Rachel versus Guy Celebrity Cook-Off.
Oh,
Holy
man.
shit.
I guess it was time that we did a celebrity something.
Yes. Guy Fieri and Rachel Ray act as coaches for celebrity chefs, sort of like The Voice, because
That was
why
where
not?
my mind went too. It was like, oh, it's The Voice for cooking shows.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's The Voice. This is right around the time that Dancing with Stars really hit the big time. Like, it was very popular on cable television to get celebrity someones who know a thing to teach other celebrities to do that thing, and us, the viewing public, to watch it.
You pay them a non-zero amount of money to show up.
This is back when like people still had cable too.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. I would say that this was the last bastion of American cable being the main source of entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the celebrity chefs were trained by Rachel and Guy, with one eliminated from the losing team each week. The last celeb standing won $50,000 to a charity of their choosing. Once you hear some of the celebrities on the show, you might learn why it only ran for 3 seasons and 18 episodes. Team Rachel won season 1 with notable celebrities like Aaron Carter, Joey Fatone, Cheech Marin, and the winner Lou Diamond Phillips.
Oh, good.
Woof.
Yeah,
Was Aaron Carter in or out of rehab by that point?
unsure.
No, because that was when he toured for a while. So this was
I
like
know,
20
I
this
saw
is
him.
20
Andrew and I saw him
We saw
together.
him together. It was
Yeah.
it was a great show.
If this
wild.
was, did you say this was 2011, 2012?
12-14.
Yeah, so
Okay.
in 2012, I was still at OU, and he definitely came on tour through OU in 2012, 2013.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Excellent.
When you saw him, Andrew and Matt, did he do How I Beat Shaq?
yes, yes.
Did he do that?
He did
I
How
know
I
he
Beat
did. I
Shaq
Want Candy.
and
which
I
was
Want Candy.
Insane.
It was
And
the
did he-
best.
Did he do
Did he do Aaron's
Party?
party?
I don't remember if he did Aaron's party.
had
I
been
think he
drinking.
did.
If I could define him in one word, it would have been gaunt.
I mean, I remember like he played his whole set. He played like his whole new album, which I listened to at the time, and it was fine. But he played through his whole new
forgettable.
album, and then after that, I remember him grabbing the mic and being like, "All right, who wants to hear some of that stuff from when I was a shithead teenager or like a shithead
Everyone
kid
just
or something like that?"
exploded.
Yeah, and everybody's like, "I do. I very much do."
Everyone's like, that's why we bought tickets.
It was a dive bar full of 29-year-olds, so the
Yeah.
room erupted in sound.
It was insane.
Yeah.
So that's season 1 of Rachel versus Guy Celebrity Cook-Off. Team Guy won season 2 with notable celebrities like Gilbert Godfrey, Hines Ward, and the winner, Dean McDermott, who I guess is a Canadian reality TV star. That's all I found from a very quick cursory Google search.
Hang on, pulling up the picture.
Yep. And Team Guy won season 3 with notable celebrities like Vanilla Ice, Penn Jillette, and the winner, former NFL star Herschel Walker.
Okay.
All right.
It's a robust category of her catalog of celebrities.
There's definitely like a tier to celebrities, and this really just made me put that on full display.
I mean, Vanilla Ice has just been on like through a revolving door of celebrity reality TV shows since 2003.
Yeah.
Since they had celebrity reality TV shows.
Whoever his manager is, he's just like every week is like, who did you call for me this week?
Yeah.
I still need money. I need more money. Who did you call?
Vanilla Ice's career just is all summed up by the fact he was on a show where he lived as an Amish man, or he claimed to be Amish now. I don't know. That was a few years ago, and it was astounding.
Yeah, so that's Rachel versus Guy Celebrity Cook-Off. I
hate that.
Let's move on to the next one, and this is the other big one. So Triple D is running 2006 to present. The other big show that Guy Fieri has is Triple G, Guy's Grocery Games, which has been running from 2013 to present. So if you are unfamiliar with Guy's Grocery Games, it is absolutely the bastard son of Supermarket Sweep and Chopped.
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering how it was different than Supermarket Sweeped, and I forgot the chopped aspect of it.
Guy Fieri brings 4 chefs to compete for up to $20,000 in FlavorTOWN Market. Chefs are given themes each round and asked to shop for their ingredients. There are something like 56 ridiculous games which Guy makes them play at his will, for he is a benevolent god.
He is the opposite of the bad guy from Saw.
Oh, that's the one that got me. Oh boy. And the winner of Guy's Grocery Games gets to shop FlavorTOWN Market for up to $20,000.
What I wouldn't give to shop FlavorTOWN Market just once.
Man.
It's my one true dream.
Yeah.
So Triple G Episode 1 Season 1 aired October 20th, 2013, and was shot inside an actual grocery store, Fields Market in West Hills, Los Angeles.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Season 2 saw the construction of a new set, the official FlavorTOWN Market, built in a 15,500 square foot warehouse in Santa Rosa, California.
Wow.
For every episode, the market is stocked with $700,000 worth of food. And after each episode, all the perishable items are donated to local food banks, and scraps from the cooks are donated to local farmers.
That's kind of cool that 10 years later he ended up back in Santa Rosa. That's kind of neat.
Yeah. A couple of other little fun facts about Triple G that I learned. Thing one is that it takes 12 hours to film an episode of Triple G. A lot of that filming time is post-show interviews. So it doesn't take 12 hours to do all the cooking, but it takes that long to do the interviews. And then one of the other interesting facts for people who watch Triple G a lot, one of the games that he plays is Budget Battle, where you get a certain amount of money. You can only buy that much money, yada, yada, yada. You have to go through an actual checkout lane and get checked out by an actual cashier. And that cashier is the cashier at Guy Fieri's local grocery store, who they really like and formed a relationship with. Actual store manager.
That is very on brand for everything I've learned about Guy Fieri. Preparing for this.
So outside of Triple D, Triple G is Guy's biggest production, running for 20 seasons with 256 episodes.
Jesus Christ.
He knows how to get that syndication money.
Powerhouse.
He is.
Yeah.
Is it still on?
It's still on. Still filming. Right now, because reasons, they are doing like Guy Fieri rewatch shows, effectively. Guy Fieri reacts to Guy Fieri. And
Yes.
yeah, it's Guy and Hunter at home. It's him and his son watching old Triple G and Triple D episodes. They're also doing Triple D
amazing.
in Guy Fieri's backyard, where he has chefs from Triple D restaurants send him boxes with all of the ingredients to make one of their menu items. And then on a Zoom call, they give them the instructions to make the menu items. And Guy Fieri makes and eats
That's
that
actually
menu
really
item.
cool.
Okay.
That's incredible.
Yeah. He actually, I read an article that he has saved a couple of businesses because he put them on the show. And from that, they started like freeze packing and shipping their meals all over the country. And it's like saved a couple of restaurants, which is rad.
Well, he's been very, I mean, I don't, not to cut Todd's portion, but he's been very like active now, working to help restaurants stay afloat in this COVID time.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
I mean, they're still filming Triple D like on location. They're filming for the next season so that they can revitalize some of these things. And he started a whole big, I'm sure Todd will talk about it, but a whole big like donation thing for out of work restaurant workers. I don't want to take too much of Todd's. I want
Let's
to talk
all
more
steal
about Food
from
Network.
Todd's section.
Yeah.
Thankfully, my section is about him giving back. So in the spirit of Guy Fieri, I won't be mad that I'm just giving to you things to make your section better.
So also to finish up Triple G, they bring on celebrities, athletes, Triple D chefs, like literally whoever Guy Fieri wants to have on, he has on. There was also a 4-episode spinoff in 2017 called Dessert Games that was co-hosted by Ace of Cakes Duff Goldman. It was fine. It's fine.
I like okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Next project is Guy's Ranch Kitchen. Ran from 2017 to maybe 2020 and beyond. It may still be on, it may not. They haven't announced a season 4 yet, but like COVID. So, I don't know. Guy invites his friends over to cook things at his ranch. They're often hungover,
Great.
maybe also drunk.
That's awesome.
I have watched every episode of Guy's Ranch Kitchen.
Just MTV Cribs.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
It has run for 3 seasons and 19 episodes. Like I said, it may get a 4th. I think the show exists so that Guy Fieri can get paid to hang out with his friends. Like, I really think that's it.
It's the Adam Sandler model, but
Right.
but mapped onto Guy Fieri
Yeah.
shows. Yeah.
Guy's Ranch Kitchen rules. Like, if you have not watched Guy's Ranch Kitchen, please. Literally, like, it's Guy Fieri and 4 chefs in his beautiful outdoor kitchen at Hunt Ride Ranch. And there's a theme, and then they all just cook a thing, and then they all eat that thing, and then they pick whose thing was the best. It's very wholesome and good.
I actually love that, knowing
Yeah.
that like they all probably drank a whole bunch the night before.
And that's, like, I've seen probably at least 2 or 3 episodes where somebody has, like, shown up to taping late, or like Guy Fieri makes some comment of like, yeah, you're really dragging today, and the other person is like, I wonder why.
It's because they all get in the night before. They all
Yeah.
party hard
Yeah.
with Guy. And then Guy is the only one who's used to this lifestyle. So he's up ready to
Right.
go at 8 o'clock to shoot and just hassling them because they're all like, oh my God.
I like to think that like every morning Guy just blends like 4 cloves of garlic and like a raw egg together, and that's his hangover cure every
it's the
day, and he
donkey
just
sauce.
sweats it out. It's the
the
donkey
donkey
sauce.
sauce.
Yeah.
It should be, just for a little added flavor, if you will, it should be noted too that our designated episode commissioner, Tom Zlatin, actually sent me, while it was in progress, a series of pictures of his Animal Crossing island, which was based off of Guy's Ranch Kitchen.
It's super true. I've seen this.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, did I mention everyone's always hungover? My favorite episode of Guy's Ranch Kitchen is when they are mid-filming and another celebrity chef who is not involved with the episode traipses through in gym shorts and flip-flops to like grab something out of the outdoor fridge and then traipses back inside.
like when Kanye's on the Kardashians.
Exactly that.
like a mysterious Sasquatch in the background.
Which celebrity chef was it?
God, I wish I could remember.
Okay, that's fair.
It might have been Michael Voltaggio. That would track. Voltaggio is the one who would be most likely to be hungover and not care that someone's filming a show so that he could go get a breakfast beer. That's
I'd like to
brand.
think it's Bobby Flay because he just appears when you speak his name 3 times like a medieval djinn.
Yeah, so like Guy Fieri and Bobby Flay have never done anything together ever. There's
That's because
polar
they're
opposites.
they're polar opposites. They're equals. They're opposite sides of the same coin.
Exactly. So that show started in 2017. Also in 2017 was Guy's big project. It was pretty much Food Network star, but like fully Fieri'd, or Fieri'd, excuse me. Guy went on the hunt for the next great food road show like Triple D. It ran for 1 season. It had 7 episodes. They got to the end and they were like, who wins? And Guy Fieri was like, both of y'all win. And the show just had 2 winners. So the first one was Rashad Jones. He hosted Eat Sleep Barbecue with Rashad. And then the other winner, parenthesis S, was Mark Anderson and Ryan Fay. They hosted a show called The Grill Dads, which, as far as I know, ran a little bit longer than Eat Sleep Barbecue. But neither of those shows is still on, but all 3 chefs still sort of run in the celebrity chef circle.
I know if I were watching Food Network and it told me a show called The Food Dads was on next, I'd probably change the channel.
It's The Grill Dads, but sure.
Yeah.
Do you guys think, so much like there's the theory that Guy Fieri is Violent J, that maybe Bobby Flay is Shaggy 2 Dope, and that's why you can't ever see them together because they're already together in clown makeup? Have you thought about it?
Oh my God, Todd, I have an important question, very important question. Did you know the other member of ICP, or did you have to look?
I knew it was something 2 Dope. I did not remember that it was Shaggy
Matt,
2
you're
Dope.
forgetting that Todd is from Northwest Ohio. Of
It's
course
true.
he knew that.
It's true.
I grew up in a household where one of my sisters definitely owned an Insane Clown Posse CD. Mind you, my father's a minister. It was a turbulent time there in the mid 90s.
How many Hatchet Man bumper stickers did your minivan have on it, Todd?
No Hatchet Mans, but we talked a lot about Fago for a little bit.
Wow. Okay. So that was 2017. Again, Guys Ranch Kitchen ran 2017 to 2020. Maybe it's still on IDK. But the last major show I want to talk about is called Tournament of Champions. It was Guy Fieri's big project that ran 2019 into the first quarter of 2020. They have not announced a second season yet, but it is likely that it will get one. Guy made a bracket of 16 celebrity chefs. Then there was a tournament and someone became champion. Thus, Tournament of Champions.
I watched this one night in the hotel because that's the only time I watch Food Network anymore.
It sounds like, again, this came about from like some of him and some of his buddies drinking, and they're like, "Who do you think is a better chef, so and so or so and so?" And after 3 rounds of that, it's like, guys, wait,
This is the show.
Yeah.
So this whole idea was actually born out of the exact same thing happening on Triple G. Guy Fieri would invite a bunch of his celebrity chef friends. They would do like a multi-week tournament, and then they would crown a winner on Guy's Grocery Games, and he just decided to make it his own show. Now, I wish that I could tell you I didn't watch all 5 episodes religiously, and I wish I could tell you that I didn't fill out the Twitter poll and get Twitter notifications about whether or not my bracket was correct. And I wish I could tell you that I didn't text friend of the show and commissioner of this flavor text, Tom Zalatni, after every single episode of Tournament of Champions. But the reality is that I did all of those things and was very, very into Tournament of Champions. It was
How accurate was your bracket?
Dude, I got blown out in the very first episode because of Darnell Ferguson, who we're going to talk about in a second. He beat Iron Chef Alex Gornicelli in the first round, who knew, like, everybody thought she was going to win and then didn't. Whatever. Sorry, I'm really into Food Network. The show was your typical food competition. The whole shtick was that there was this thing called the randomizer, which was just a set of spinning wheels that would pick, like, what style of food you were making, what protein or what weird menu item you had to use, what special cooking device you had to use, and how long you had to cook it.
I kind of want to watch this now.
Yeah,
this sounds super rad.
Sounds really
I'm
good.
looking this up when we're done.
This actually
recording.
sounds like something that I want to get really high and watch.
I wish Food Network didn't lock all of their stuff behind their own devices, because I can't stream any of their stuff.
Sling is the answer. I'm not
Sling.
sponsored by Sling, but I get a
Not
lot of
yet.
Food Network content from Sling. Yo, unless Sling wants to sponsor me, I'll suckle at the teat of Sling.
I'm getting sick of watching the same Bon Appetit videos over and over again.
So to finish up Tournament of Champions, it was won by total underdog Brooke Williamson. She won the first season, and underdog Darnell Ferguson, who again beat ICAG in the first round, probably could have won, but he forgot to plate one of his items, which is like the number one sin of Food Network shows, and he lost to Manit Chauhan. But he does have 2 restaurants in Columbus, which is pretty rad. One of them is called Super Chef. It's a breakfast place that is all superhero themed.
I've been there. It's good.
Yeah, it's really good. There's another one in Kentucky, because that's where he's from. And
No, he's from Columbus. He lives in Kentucky.
Yeah, you're right. You're super right.
What part of Kentucky?
Northern? I don't remember.
Louisville. I literally
Louisville.
just had a dispatch article because he's opening up a new restaurant.
Yep,
in
he
Gahanna.
is, and it's more of a sports bar type thing.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So that is all of the major Guy Fieri projects. Before I finish up, I've got a lightning round for you. Here are a bunch of shows that Guy Fieri did that you've probably never heard of. Get ready, it's wild. Tailgate Warriors with Guy Fieri in 2010, a limited run series where he took fans of different football teams, made them cook tailgate food, and decided which NFL team fan had the best tailgate food.
Seen it.
Excellent.
Yep. Guy Fieri's Rock and Road Show in 2011.
Seen it.
It's like a BTS of Triple D. Guy's Family Reunion in 2013. The title says it all. Guy and Hunter's European Vacation. It's Triple D, but Guy's with his son, and it's in Europe.
He totally pitched that to get Food Network to pay for him to go
Right.
to Europe with his son.
Yep.
Absolutely, he did.
That was in 2016. Guy's Family Road Trip happened in 2017. Guy's Family Cruise, the made-for-TV Food Network movie, happened in 2018. And my personal favorite, in 2018, Guy Fieri jumped to another Discovery Network channel and hosted Guy Fieri's Feeding Frenzy as part of the 30th anniversary of Shark Week.
Okay.
Excellent.
All
Yeah.
right. That's a crossover.
Also, Guy Fieri has 10 executive producer credits on IMDb, so he is all work, no play.
Matt, in summary, though, would you say he's got to be Food Network's most successful personality, right?
Absolutely. I mean, it's him and Bobby Flay, without question of a doubt.
Shaggy too dope.
Bobby Flay, like you said, is the other side of Food Network.
Yeah.
But the 2 highest rated primetime shows on Food Network are Triple D and Beat Bobby Flay. That's the back upon which Food Network is built.
What a better, those are both such their personalities. Guy's show is hey, let's all go hang out and have ribs, and Bobby Flay's show is come beat me,
fight
you
me. Better
fucking
than you.
asshole. Yeah. It's just one is chaos and the other is order, and that's how they are.
Yeah. Yep. And then the other ones are Triple G and Chopped. And so the joke that I've always made, or other Food Network fans that I talk to, are Bobby Flay is the Chopped side of Food Network, which is serious competition and no jokes and no hold barred. And then Guy Fieri is the fun side of Food Network, where it's hey, make a barbecue with ketchup, ranch, and dill pickles. Go.
And everybody wins.
Yep, and everybody wins.
I'm still dealing with tailgate meatloaf.
Meatloaf is very
I know that was said 40 minutes ago, but oof.
Yeah. So the one thing I didn't do for this section is title up how many episodes of all of these shows there have been, but I do know that it's over 1,000. So Guy Fieri's been on a lot of fucking television. And that is the end of my section, which again, I have titled The Patron Saint of Channel 52. Check your local listings. And before we jump over to Todd, I think this is the perfect time for us to take a quick break. So we will be right back after this.
This Christmas on the Food Network.
It's the Guy Fieri Full Throttle Christmas special. I'm Guy Fieri. Join me and all my homies for a holiday dinner you'll never forgizzy. With special guest co-host and godfather of my children, Kid Rock. My name is Kid. Kid Rock. Merry Christmas, you skanks. Wipeout. I brought Bud Lime Gazpacho. And I'm inviting over the human equivalent of the food I make for an untraditional Christmas beast feast. Like Chris Angel Mind Freak. Shh, Mind Freak. Brad Michaels.
I'm 90% plastic, 10% HPV.
And Kimbo Slice. Mimi from Drew Carey. And Vern Troyer. What's that by the fire? A stocking stuffed with 20-layer bean dip and a crumbled Teddy Graham crust. And for dessert, we're gonna turn a fruit cake into a straight cake. It's just bacon and carbs. Plus, we're gonna give you all the holiday music you can cram into your ear holes. Featuring a duet with Dog the Bounty Hunter and Big Ants from Mob Wives.
I saw Mommy kissing Santa Claus, bra.
I saw Mommy sucking Santa's horse and all the reindeer came and she was just sucking their when the chink flipped their brains out because they was wearing a wire.
The Duck Dynasty guys' hilarious take on Jingle Bells. Oh! Quack, 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 quack. And a half-throttle rendition of We Three Kings by the cast of Pawn Stars. We Three Kings. We're gonna put the ham in family. So join me and my friends for Guy Fieri's Full Throttle Christmas. It's gonna be Full Throttle!
Only on the Food Network.
All right. Well, now that Matt has told you just basically everything about Guy Fieri's on-screen performances, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what makes the man. Because as I alluded to earlier in this, Guy Fieri is a better human being than you or I could ever hope to be. And so just to kind of give you a history of going back, Guy Fieri has just constantly been giving back to communities around him since he's had the means to do so. So just as the start, as a foundation to this barbecue-basted pyramid that we're going to build that is Guy Fieri.
This barbecue-basted pyramid. Come on.
So he currently holds, or he's one of the recipients of what is called the Chris Gracious Award, which is the highest honor that the Make-A-Wish Foundation gives away. Wow. So Guy Fieri has just constantly, he either has worked with the Make-A-Wish Foundation with kids that want to, whatever their wish is, aligns with any of the resources that Guy Fieri has. Now, I know you're wondering, what has this lovable man and his frosted tips done to deserve such high honors? So we had already alluded to this as well, the triple D effect. So obviously, as Matt said, we understand what diners, drive-ins, and dives is. Now think about what that entire structure of that show has as an impact. So Guy and his crew, they travel around the country visiting these mom and pop hidden gems, and then they are suddenly, a couple months after production, just thrusted into the spotlight with all the PR that they could only really dream of. So the triple D effect, as it's known, is that boost that restaurants get after they are featured on diners, drive-ins, and dives. So they just have, the concept of just having Guy Fieri visit Fieri. I'm going to get it right. The concept of having Guy Fieri visit your establishment to tell your story, to feature your food, it helps these restaurants financially after the show hits. The trade-off in this is, restaurants don't pay Guy and the crew to come and do this, and they don't pay the restaurants either. The restaurants just have to provide access and food overall.
I have a question for clarification, Todd or Matt. I know that the show is called Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, but after a Naruto Shippuden level of amount of episodes. How closely do they stick to that? Like, what is the criteria for being a Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dive feature?
So I don't know what the criteria is. If Matt knows that, he can answer if there's like a bullet point list. I do know how they find the restaurants though. They'll contact local area like restaurant food critics, and they'll ask for. They probably just throw out the line to say like, "We are this show. You know who we are. You know what we're looking for."
I mean,
like,
after a certain period, yeah, but
Yeah. I know a couple of things about it. I don't know like how strict or how true they are. The one thing that I've heard is to relate it to my own life. Once I had a fraternity brother tell me that if 3 people invite you to a party, you shouldn't go because it'll be too big and get busted. And I have heard that they won't go to a restaurant that hasn't been recommended to them like at least a couple of times. So I've heard that. The other thing that I have always assumed, and I don't know exactly how true this is, but like, you know how Google and Yelp and all the things give you dollar signs for how expensive a restaurant is? I'm pretty sure that Triple D caps at $2 signs. And I think that that's kind of
tracks.
the cutoff.
that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. I mean, it's mostly lunch places or places that you would go while in shorts.
Yeah. I mean, that's
I think
pretty good.
I think caps at $2 signs and doesn't have a dress code are probably the boxes you got to check.
How many restaurants do you go to with a dress code, Matt?
I have been to at least one that I can think of. That's all I got.
It's not a common thing, is what I'm getting at.
No.
I don't know if that needs to be a criteria.
I think the better question is how many restaurants would you go to in shorts and flip flops?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's
It's less dress code. It's more like, would you feel weird if you were in flip flops?
Would you go there hungover?
Yeah.
Like maybe wearing 2 different shoes.
Sleeves.
Brunch not included.
Would you go like? Would you wear sleeves? Would you feel bad for not wearing sleeves?
Yeah. Would you wear Matt's Roll Tide tank top into this restaurant?
So the point of this is that like in the like pre-setup to these meetings, restaurants are told that they can expect a 200% increase in business after the show does go live. There's not like a specific report of how much they make and how much they don't make. And of course, the show's been around so long that obviously some restaurants in the long run don't make it. But there are stories of restaurants sharing that in the month after the episode goes live, that their business goes up 500%, which is
Not surprised.
wild. Again, and you know, the only reference I have from the restaurants in Columbus that were listed is Loops, and if Loop suddenly had 500% profits up, like that's wild. So we had talked about some of the other things that he does. One of the cool things that Guy Fieri does is he runs a program called the Awesome Pretzel Cart Program. Now, that name sounds familiar because that was his first pretzel cart of a similar title. So what this does is it gives pretzel carts to schools to help them with fundraising and to teach kids how to run small businesses.
That's so rad.
Amazing.
Yeah,
damn, that's
fun
so
fact, here in Ohio, there is actually one in Lorain County. On their their United States map. I think it's with their like Tri-County Career Services or whatever that is for Lorain County. But this program also goes hand in hand with his Cooking with Kids program, which is a program that helps do, I believe it is fund matching, but it helps fund school and community programs that encourage healthy eating for children and families. So like, just so pure. So pure.
Yeah.
Like, no one is doing the nicest things like Guy Fieri is doing. Now, we had also talked about this, but to catch you up to like present day, or more recently at least. So Guy Fieri partnered early on this year with the National Restaurant Association Educational Foundation. There's an acronym. It doesn't matter how it's pronounced. I'm not saying that name again. And they typing it out, I was like, I'm not doing this. So Guy and this association created a fund to help restaurant workers impacted by COVID-19. So, you know, and you might be saying, like, obviously this is a good thing, but like, what prompted him to do this? So, aside from Guy Fieri being a literal flame-broiled angel, he had been talking to some of his own employees during like the shutdown, along with just, I assume, getting restless because he constantly needs to be doing something. To the point that he said, like, we've got to take action. Like, people are suffering. We got to do something. So effectively, he put together with this association this like quote tip jar fund that allows restaurant workers to apply for a one-time $500 check to just help out with anything in their life. So like food, babysitting, rent, whatever it is, like you just apply and like you can have access to it. I couldn't find any updated statistics, but as of May, this fund had raised $21 million. And yeah, and it had served, and at that
Wow.
point, it had served 10,000 requests that it had received. But I believe at that point it had the capacity to serve 20,000 requests, but they had gotten so many so quick that they're like, we got to stop. We got to figure these out. And I also, just on top of everything else he's done, real early on, he helped serve meals to healthcare workers in California as like hospitals were receiving like the biggest brunt early on. There is also, on that same note, during the 2018 wildfires in California, he was also part of a team that served something like 1,000 or more meals to firefighters and first responders.
I do remember that. Yeah.
Like, and again, you just think of like these great things that he does, and you say like, I don't know, when was the last time you served pork shoulder to firefighters, Andrew?
Never.
Yeah, so
Not once.
Not even
and
a little bit.
and this is obviously like, this is not getting the bullet point that it deserves, but like as a statement, he regularly works with Special Olympics athletes. Like, that's just such a good selfless thing for like a man with all these ways and means to do. And I think what's really funny, if you think like, since obviously my whole spiel is like Guy Fieri's this living walking angel. If you remember back in 2017, there was a comedian on Conan O'Brien named Shane Torres.
Oh, Todd, you're stealing my content.
Oh, well, good. Take that. But I won't get into like the whole bit if Kyle's going to share it. But the point was like, he laid out some of the things that I said in this, but just the point is that Guy Fieri is this man of ways and means that has just like given back to all the people around him that he'll never meet, that he'll never know. And like, for a man who wears a bowling shirt with flames on it and has like frosted tips and is just, he is a walking exclamation point. He's not like flashy about these things, which I think is like so cool. Because again, up until Shane Torres went on a rant in 2017 and was like, who the hell are you to think that you're better than Guy Fieri? Like, I found out I'm super not any better than Guy Fieri at all, even a little.
That was the point I wanted to make, is like, yeah, like every celebrity's got a foundation and uses it to wash their money a little bit. Guy Fieri is actually out there helping and like doing meaningful charity work, and not just like, here's a check once a year so I can write it off my taxes. Like,
literally serving meals to first responders
in
also,
the trenches. Yeah.
Also, in my like research trying to find like if restaurants could share how much they made after diners, drive-ins, and dives, I found out how much is estimated that he makes each episode. What do you think that number is?
$2 million an episode.
Yeah, something like that.
Between $10,000 and $20,000 an episode.
Well,
Attaboy.
That was a report in early April from whatever frost snow is. I don't know. That's the one thing I could find. And if that's even remotely true, holy shit.
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, Guy Fieri is just a better human being than any of us will ever be.
Because he probably films those in a day, half a day. Like,
there's setup like obviously before he gets there, but I'm sure he is on location in that one restaurant for a day.
yeah.
I've read that it's a 3-day process. That like when the producers reach out to restaurants, they say, listen, you're going to need to close down for 3 days and be ready to make anything on your menu. Because if Guy wants it, you got to make it.
And that was the one thing. I mean,
Yeah.
restaurants shared that like obviously it cost them like a couple thousand to host because
Sure.
they've shut down. They still have to staff. They're not making other money, but like the note is like, we're not going to charge you. Like you don't have to pay us.
You don't
like,
pay
just
us.
provide.
You just got to shut down for
Yeah, but
3
I mean,
days.
what an investment. I mean, you're losing a couple days to gain years
Oh, yeah.
of traffic.
Yeah. And the other part of the Triple D effect is that every restaurant says they always know when their episode had a rerun, because they're like, it'll just be Wednesday. It'll be like Wednesday
just,
at
like,
3 p.m. and suddenly we've got a line out the door.
That's awesome.
So I think this might be fun, and I don't know if people have an answer for this, but does anybody have because there's so many places, right? I just posted in our little Discord, our group chat, a link. Food Network has like a really good repository of all the places that have been featured. Like they can do it by state, which is pretty cool. But do any of you guys have like a story or just like a place that you can think off the top of your head, like, oh, so and so from my hometown, or a place that I'm really familiar with had an episode, and that place slaps, or that place got a lot of business. I've got a couple, but I was just curious if you guys did.
I know there's a place in Gahanna that wasn't on Triple D or any Guy shows, but is it Kona, the tea place, the tea and cupcake place?
I'm not sure.
They're really good. They were in Gahanna. They were in Creekside, but we went there a few times for tea and cupcakes, and they're very good. They've got a big featured on Food Network banner out front.
Gotcha.
It's
the
only way I know that.
The reason I brought it up is the place that I always think of is a place called. So I mentioned before, I was born and raised in Southwest Pennsylvania. So 45 minutes south of Pittsburgh, there's a town. I didn't grow up there, but it was like where we hung out a lot. Dormont, PA, which is like the southernmost still city of Pittsburgh neighborhood, basically. And in Dormont, there's a place called the Doorstop, which is just like a breakfast diner, like forgettable diner. But they have really good pancakes, and they were one of the earliest episodes, like first couple seasons, like early enough ago when I was still in college. And that was just like a cool place that we used to go, like hungover, after like a night of drinking. And that place just exploded. And again, like I said, like that episode aired 10 years ago, and they still are packed all the time, which is really cool.
Yeah, I've got a couple. I've been to a ton of Triple D restaurants and stuff, but my favorite story, I guess, is definitely Ina's in Columbus, which is this little like Caribbean place that's in this tiny spot on the corner. And I found out about Ina's from their food truck like not long after I moved to Columbus, and I'm a sucker for Caribbean food like jerk chicken and jerk shrimp. So I had been getting it a decent amount, and I knew it was on Triple D. And I can always tell when the rerun happens because I'll go to Ina's and see a ton of other white people. And anytime I see a ton of other white people at the Caribbean place and not the best side of Columbus, I know that episode
is that
of
the
Triple
place
D
you
has
tried to
been
take me on, Cleveland? Yeah, okay. And the
Yeah,
line was out the door
the
because the rerun just happened.
Yeah, exactly. The other one I really like is actually in Seattle. It's called Pechersky. It's a Russian pastry place. There are these things called Pecherskis. They're Russian pastries. It's really good. They have a location, I think, at Pike's Place Market. I know I ate at their food truck at a festival that I went to in Seattle.
that was we went there. Yeah, the Pierogies or whatever you call them.
Yeah,
Pierogi.
Or Pierogi. It's Pierogi.
Yeah,
Pierogi.
that place fucks.
Pechersky is a hockey player. Pierogi is a Russian pastry.
Fucks.
Yeah, dude. And every time I've been in Seattle and tried to go there, there has been a gigantic line, like akin to the first Starbucks line is the
so I looked up Cincinnati because I wanted to see. I've been to a couple of these Cincinnati places, but not because of diners, drive-ins, and dives. So we actually went to Melt in Cincinnati and did an episode there. But then he also went to Taste of Belgium, which is very good in Cincinnati. It's German food, and I've eaten there on multiple birthdays in Cincinnati because it's just really good.
Nice.
Street German food. So, yeah, he knows his places. He can pick them.
Yeah, well, his team can pick them.
No, he can pick them.
It's him. He does it.
Oh, I have been to one in Pittsburgh. I've been to Nadine's. I've gotten breakfast there many a times. All right, that's all I got. Go ahead.
I'm gonna pass the. I'm gonna pour some donkey sauce on Kyle here. That's what Guy Fieri does instead of passing basketballs. He pours donkey sauce on his friends.
I hate. So guys, Guy Fieri is a meme now.
Not better,
That's
just
the
different.
thesis. That's the thesis of my point is Guy Fieri has reached like not just food celebrity status, but true celebrity status. And I brought some receipts in the form of clips and examples. We've reached the clip portion of the show, so
If
bear
you're
with
listening
me.
and you're with Spotify, just go ahead and fast forward.
Yeah, we're gonna.
There's
need you
nothing to
just
see
move
here.
along.
So first example I have, Guy Fieri, the man, the meme, the legend, is we are literally hosting an entire podcast about this flame wearing food angel that just tours the country and helps restaurants.
We are making the situation worse.
Yes, better or better, depending on how you look at it. So I don't have a timeline of Guy Fieri becoming a meme and becoming an internet sensation, because why bother? Because it's the internet and everything happens out of order. Todd brought it up. We've got Shane Torres. You got me flipping all my R's now, Matt. God bless it. You got Shane Torres on Conan doing a wonderful 4-minute set in defense of Guy Fieri.
Here's what he did do, America. He started a company where he hires everybody. He pays more than minimum wage. He gives health benefits before he has to. He has a nonprofit where he gives pretzel making machines to schools so they can fundraise. I know that one sounds like I made it up, but I swear to Christ, it's true. He works with Special Olympics athletes, and if you need a little more sugar with this medicine, he also officiated a gay wedding.
You've got Chrissy Teigen going on her show on Halloween dressed up as Guy Fieri.
I didn't actually look that up, but I heard about it.
It's pretty good. It's a very good costume. Chrissy Teigen and John Legend do very good Halloween costumes every year. And she hosted a whole episode of her show as Guy Fieri. Other good impressions have been done on College Humor. I really like Bobby Moynihan's Guy Fieri on SNL.
That sounds kind of heavy. Don't knock it till you fry it, Seth. I'm roughing up your stuffing. I could eat this off a flip-flop. Full throttle.
Just, if someone follows him on Instagram, please talk about his Instagram more than I can, because
dude, it's bananas.
Please.
It's so wild.
Wait, Guy Fieri's or Bobby Moynihan's?
Guy Fieri's.
Guy Fieri's.
Oh.
Guy Fieri just makes memes of himself and posts them on Instagram. That's his whole
Following
thing.
now.
Like, he does Triple D and Triple G promos and like other promos for things that he's doing. And then whatever the meme of the week is, Guy Fieri slaps his face on it and posts it on his own Instagram.
A legend. He is just perfect. That's how you do it. I didn't get to this one, and I'm sure Matt here can help me. What's the lean cuisines, Matt?
Oh man, did you not watch the video?
Get to watch the video.
So it came up on his Hot Ones episode. Guy Fieri was at some event, I think in like West Palm Beach, and they called him up on stage, and he just started signing lean cuisines and eating them out into the audience.
That. Okay, so when Todd was talking, I couldn't get the image of Guy Fieri throwing paper towels, but I knew I was confusing that with someone who we don't want to bring up on the show.
The literal president.
and that's what it was. It was the lean cuisines. Two puzzle pieces just like fit together in my brain, and a lot of things make more sense now. My last point I'll talk about, and we'll have a couple clips from this that really I think solidify Guy Fieri as a meme, as a philanthropist, and just a great guy, is his interview on Hot Ones, which if you aren't familiar with Hot Ones, it is an interview show on YouTube where celebrities sit down with the host and eat increasingly spicy hot wings and try to answer questions as they choke down these very, very inhumanly spicy wings. And we'll have some clips here. But in his Hot Wings interview, he talks about his critics and how he deals with critics. The answer is he doesn't care.
What do you say to the naysayers out there, Guy Fieri?
I really don't give a shit.
He's better than them, and he knows it, and can just shake it off like a duck with water. He drops a queso recipe in the middle of this interview, just like as he's again choking down these sadistically hot wings. He's just like, this reminds me of this queso I like to make, and here's how you make queso. And he closes it, and this again goes back to Todd's section with a very heartfelt moment where he's like, we need to teach kids how to cook. We need to get kids to stop eating like Kraft mac and cheese and chicken nuggets and get them in the kitchen.
Teach your kids to cook. Teach them how to cook. We went through all these generations of kids that we were in processed foods and drive-thrus and all this, and nothing against restaurants. I'm in the restaurant business. But we need to have a time and a place. And we need to teach kids the core fundamentals of cooking. It's a life skill. Put down the cell phone, come in the kitchen, let's work together on cutting the onion and making the queso dip.
He wants kids to cook, and I think it's very sweet and wholesome, again, from this, caricature of a man. Oh, that's the other one he did. He talked about where the bowling shirts come from in this interview. He gave the history of the bowling shirts, and it was just, he wore one to the first day on set on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, because they were like, you need to wear a collared shirt. And it was the nicest one he had was a bowling shirt, and I'll let him tell it.
Well, when I got the pilot for Triple D, they said bring a collared shirt. So I had a Dickies work shirt, and it was blue with a gray panel in the front of it, and so that's what I put on. And whoever started doing the wardrobe started bringing those kind of shirts around. And that's what they started putting on me. And then this whole bowling shirt, the people are mailing me bowling shirts with my face on them. And
fund, where someone asked him like, oh, like, what is it that you eat? Like double fried cheeseburgers and like hot dog cheese soup or whatever. And he's like, nah, like I love vegetables. Like I like, like he has a like pretty good diet from what he said.
So I've seen this is an older interview from him. He really like found his love of cooking, like legit, like cooking when he started cooking for his frat house in college. Like he just was like, man, you guys just like eat cheese and beer all day. Why don't I make us some veggies? And they were, and he just like really got into cooking, making vegetables his fraternity brothers would want to eat instead of more beer and cheese. So like that's really where he comes from most of the time. That's my section. It's short. It's the fun one, but it's short. And we'll get some. Please send us all your favorite Guy Fieri memes.
So I went and followed him on Instagram while we were doing this, and I can't believe what I've been missing out on. Most specifically, the most recent meme that really hit home to me was the meme of him. It's a knife through a sweatshirt like a cake, because everything is a cake right now on the internet. And man, that's really, really funny.
Yeah, it's very good. Does anybody have any last Guy Fieri tidbits, facts, or thoughts that they want to get out? Because I have a couple too, but Andrew, you go first.
Well, we didn't talk about too much about like his more present day, like outside of Food Network. Like he's had a couple of restaurants. Did you want to talk about those already? Am I?
No,
I don't.
ahead,
we don't
please.
need to speak too much about it. Guys also had. We talked about obviously like Johnny Garlics and Tex Wasabi's. He's had a couple other restaurant ventures, and I think Guy's known for a lot of things. I don't think he's no Gordon Ramsay restaurateur. Like he is the fun side of Food Network isn't synonymous with very successful food 5-star restaurants,
like legacy restaurants.
Restaurants. So I think he's done a couple other like on brand themed restaurants. They're mostly been in like places like Times Square in Vegas, like very, 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 very touristy kind of places. I think the most famous one of his restaurants is Guy's American Kitchen, which started in Times Square. I think there's one in Vegas. I've been to the one in Vegas. That's the one where the menu is just buck wild. My favorite thing on that menu is a dish called Captain Beefheart, which is beef heart, which a friend of mine actually cooked, and it was excellent. Like he got like really nice beef heart and made the dish, and it was excellent.
Well, Captain Beefheart is a gin, right? It's a brand of gin.
Beef eater.
Beef eater.
Something. Never mind.
Captain Beefheart
is something.
An American singer-songwriter.
My nickname in college.
Nice. There's a couple other ones. Guy's Vegas Kitchen and Bar. He's got one in Baltimore, and then in 2018 he collaborated with Planet Hollywood founder Robert Earl to open fast food chicken sandwich shop Chicken Guy at Walt Disney World. So again, like very much on the celebrity chef tract of just like super high concept family restaurants, which again, like there's nothing wrong with that. That's that's what you go to those places for. I did want to note end my piece on a fun note here. Have you guys heard of FieriCon?
No.
According to FieriCon.com, what is FieriCon? To put it simply, FieriCon is a collection of Guy Fieri enthusiasts that go on a bar crawl in his honor.
Okay.
I'm in.
It started 4 years ago as something funny to do with family and friends. Since then, it has grown into an event that has spanned 5 cities, 2 continents, raised money for charity, become the subject of local news stories, and got featured in a Vice Munchies video that has over 2 million views.
All right. When the world's not on fire anymore, we're going.
I am going to call it right now. We're all going to do our best to get bowling shirts with flames on them.
2022. Let's do it.
We're gonna wear sunglasses, and if they're not on our faces, they have to be backwards on our heads. And we're gonna go storm Columbus bars.
It's ridiculous. According to the website, it's mostly it's like in Times Square, so it's like going to his places. But a bunch of people dress up as Guy Fieri and go drinking at all his restaurants in New York.
I'll make a donation to the foundation and do it in Columbus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm in. Yeah.
2021, that's what
awesome.
we'll do. We'll do that for our 4th year anniversary.
Yeah. It's cute you think this will all be done in 2021.
2025. We'll do this one.
Here we go.
37.
As we crawl out of our bunkers.
Go, Matt, did you have anything else?
Yeah. Yeah, I just a couple of random Guy Fieri fun facts that I think are important to throw into this flavor text. Thing one, Guy's American Kitchen and Bar in Times Square is the holder of the record of the worst restaurant review in New York Times history.
That's the subject of the SNL clip that we just listened to.
Yeah, it's a 0.2 out of 4. It's the worst review in restaurant history, or New York Times restaurant review history.
You should read
the review. It's wild. So there's that. Other random fun fact, I read in an interview today, and I don't know how true this is, that Guy Fieri's favorite dish is collard greens. The one food fun fact that I do know is that Guy Fieri hates eggs, and it is often a topic in Triple D episodes where the chef will be like, this usually comes with a fried egg on it, but we left it off for you, Guy. I think that's in 1 out of every 3 episodes of Triple D. Yeah, and then my last fact is a little more up like Todd's alley of Guy Fieri just being the best guy. But Guy Fieri's sister sort of recently passed away after a pretty gnarly fight with cancer. And Guy Fieri has 2 sons, Hunter and Ryder, but he and his wife have taken over raising his sister's son, Jules, as like their own adopted kid too. So just literally the best guy. Guy Fieri is the goodest guy.
If what's his name? The WD John Cena is lawful good, then Guy Fieri is chaotic good.
Oh yeah,
100%.
Right. Yeah. Yep. Chaos deity Guy Fieri. Well, that's all I got. Anybody else got anything else? Perfect. Well, with that all being said, thanks for listening in to debate this. Follow along with the argument on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at DebateThisCast. If you enjoyed the absurdity of us reading every wiki, and I do mean every wiki that mentioned Guy Fieri, you can commission your own flavor text at patreon.com/debatethiscast. And again, one more gigantic thank you to friend of the show and member of the Upford Network, or owner, leader, champion of the Upford Network, Tom Zalatni, for commissioning. Yeah. Tom Donkey Sauce.
That's Donkey
Zalatni.
Sauce to you, sir.
That's Mr. Donkey Sauce.
No, please, Mr. Donkey Sauce is my father. For commissioning this ridiculous flavor text. And don't feel like you have to come out swinging top tier. We'd love it if you joined up with our Patreon just to join in our Discord, where there is very much a server called Guy Fieri's.
One of the more popular servers.
Yeah. If Patreons and monetary support aren't really your thing, that's cool too. We'd be beyond grateful if you'd write a review for us on Apple Podcasts or whatever your podcast app of choice is. I think we're on Podchaser now. Much like Good Pods, if you use Podchaser and know how it works,
we're on all of them, I think.
Yeah. Until next time,
I'm Andrew,
Matt Cole.
Captain Beefheart Henderson.
I'm Todd. Whoop whoop. Thomas.
And I'm Kyle Wasabi Barbecue Sushi Harper.
And we're saying thanks for debating with us. And if you think we're wrong, then you can come fight us behind the swing sets, nerds.